What's up, YouTube? I want to talk to you guys about the common #1 mistake that I see beginners and amateur recreational players making out there on the course. Is the #1 mistake I see happening. This is not about how to throw or form or any of that sort of stuff. It's a very easy mistake to fix. Basically, the #1 mistake I see people making out there in the course is they're throwing discs that are too fast, too stable, and that they're either not ready for or are not designed to do what they're trying to get them to do. This is an extremely common problem that I run into as far as seeing amateurs out there on the course, particularly when you see somebody who's obviously like joining in with their friends who kind of, their buddies already throw a little bit, and this is their first round or their first couple rounds, and then one of their buddies like, oh, here's an extra disc. They give it to them. Usually they give them a driver, and they have a lot of trouble throwing it straight. So basically, here's the symptom that I want you to look out for to know if this is a problem that you have. If you throw your disc, and as soon as it comes out of your hand, it starts hooking left, and it dumps out and just drops straight down to the ground to the left, that is an indication that you're throwing something that's either too fast or too overstable for you. If you're not sure about the difference between understable and overstable, I have a thorough tutorial video about that here on YouTube. Pause this, open another tab in your browser, search understable, overstable, disc golf nerd. It'll pop right up, and you'll be able to get the information on the basics of this. But yeah, if you're throwing your disc right, I have to hold it with my left hand. But if you're throwing your disc right-handed, it comes out of your hand and just immediately dumps out to the left. That's a pretty clear indication that it's too fast or too stable for you. There are certain discs that are designed to go left, stuff like Firebirds, Felons, Discraft Predators, stuff like that. Those are designed specifically to go left and for really high power throwers and high winds, so you want to stay away from those discs. But more common, what I see, is people throwing stuff that's just too fast. And if you can't throw it fast enough, it's not going to go straight. It's just going to hook out left and finish really strong to the left, because that's the way it's designed. That speed translates to a lot of exaggerated finish at the end if you don't throw it fast enough to get it up to speed. So let me show you a couple of discs that I think you should try to avoid. Not that these are bad discs, you're just not ready for them. I am throwing, both these discs are discs that I would throw. Dynamic Discs Trespass, one of my favorite discs. I throw a bunch of these at this point in my playing career. But this thing is an example of a disc that's just too fast for a beginner. See how wide and sharp that rim is? That's not what you want. If you look at the flight numbers here, you can see the speed is a 12. That's too fast. You want to stay at like 8 or 9 as absolute max speed for a driver when you're just starting out. In fact, for your first few rounds, I suggest you don't even throw a driver at all. Just throw putters and mid-ranges. You'll be way better off. You can also see it's got a fade of 3. That means when it slows down, it really likes to finish back to the left. So if you don't throw it fast enough, all you're going to see is it finish to the left, right? So it's got good glide, so that's good, but that speed is what you want to stay away from. Again, look at how wide this rim is on this disc. Sharp, wide rim, high speed distance disc. This is the kind of thing you guys need to stay away from when you're just starting out. Here's another prime example, Discraft Nuke. Great disc. Once you guys get used to throwing and you build up some more power, that's when you're ready to get a nuke or a trespass and try to stretch out some distance, and it might work out well for you. A lot of people love these discs. But again, look how wide the rim is on this disc. Too wide, too sharp. That means you have to throw this thing. This is even faster than trespass. This is like a speed 13 or so. So that means you really have to throw this thing very fast. In fact, there are really very few players that can truly maximize the flight of a 13 speed disc out there on the market, let alone even faster stuff like Kings and Giants, Legacy Rampages and Cannons, other 14 speed stuff. You really want to stay away from that stuff. There's only a handful of people in the world that can really maximize the flight of a 14 speed disc as far as I'm concerned. So here are a couple drivers. If you wanted to get a driver, say you've been throwing for a little while, maybe a few months or something like that, and you're ready to start throwing some drivers, here's some great options for you. Latitude 64 Jade. This one is an easy to use line, so it's designed just for folks like you. I throw this one still because it's a really great, easy to throw disc. It just flies very straight with very little effort. And this one is in lightweight by design. It's 152 grams. And if you look at the rim on this disc, you can see it's much smaller and less sharp and less width than these other ones. So let me put it up. I'll match the inner rims together, and I'll show you the difference in the width here, so you can see how much bigger that Nuke's rim is than the Jade. Another disc, I'll line that up first before I talk to you about it, is the Innova Valkyrie. Again, you can see much smaller rim, much lower speed, therefore it's easier for you to get it up to speed and throw it and get a nice full flight out of it. This one is 150 gram Star Valkyrie from Innova. This was my first favorite driver when I was starting out. I love this thing. It's a great disc. It was my first Ace disc, which I have this goofy drawing on the bottom to commemorate. But you can see 150 gram Valkyrie, nice relatively small rim, and easy to grip, and much easier to get it up to speed and get a full flight out of it than anything speed 9 or more. Those are right about the speed 9 or so. Those are even maybe still a little bit fast for beginners for sure. So you might want to throw a few rounds with a mid-range or a putter before you move on to those. But those are good beginner drivers if that's what you guys are looking for. So let's talk about my top options, which are putters. I only have a few examples here. There are a lot of great putters out there. As long as it's not something that's considered overstable, like a Harp or a Pig, a Rhino, something that has low glide, overstable, you want to stay away from those. As long as it's a nice straight flying putter, you should be in good shape. But here are some options that I recommend that I have laying around here that I've experience with. The MVP Anode, great disc. This one's in the soft plastic. It's got a great feel, super durable. You can have this thing for years, and it'll basically fly the same way for a long time. I love these discs. It's a great putter. Another great reason to throw a putter when you're first starting out is that when you get in close to the basket, you have a putter. You're not trying to putt with a driver. That's not good. So this thing is great off the tee. I will still throw discs like this off the tee all the time, even at my relatively advanced skill level that I'm at this point after playing for many years. I still throw tons of putters off the tee. So that's another misconception, that you don't throw a putter off the tee. That's not true at all. Even the highest level players in the game will throw putters from the tee when needed. This one is a great option. MVP Anode, very straight. Another great thing about putters is that they don't want to finish really strong to the left. So they'll just go out and hold straight all the way. So you'll actually get more distance than you will with a really overstable disc when you're just starting out. So Discraft Soft Magnet, I've been pushing these on my channel for years. One of my absolute top choices as far as beginner suggestions for a disc to start out with. Even this one, nice and beat up like this, just dead straight all the way. One of the straightest flying discs you're going to find, and it's also has very nice glide, easy to grip, easy to throw, very inexpensive. Love the Soft Magnet, highly recommend that. And final putter that I have here, again, there's lots of other options that are great out there. Innova AVRs are great putters that you could start out with. Tons of different options, but this one is the Axiom Soft Proxy. This is a great disc as well. Really nice, durable, bright plastic. You can get really great colors in the Axiom stuff. And this one, if you look at it, you can see it's got a nice rounded, smooth outside edge like all putters should have. And that means it's going to fly nice and straight with good glide, and it won't want to veer hard one way or the other. It just wants to go nice and straight and kind of show you the way you're releasing it. So if you release it on a hyzer angle, it should show you that. If you release it on an anhyzer, you'll see that. Or if you throw a high-speed driver, it really just wants to fight back and finish back to the angle of spin. So it'll kind of mask some of the issues that you have with your form as well, and just want to dump left rather than show you what you're doing with your throw. On to some mid-ranges. This one has a wacky stamp, but it's actually a Theory by Axiom. Axiom Theory, great disc. I guarantee you that you can throw this disc farther and straighter than any distance driver when you're just starting out. It just will glide and carry on a very nice straight line, straight down the fairway, and that's what you want. So Axiom Theory, great option for this. Mid-ranges are a really great place to start because they're a good balance in between putters and drivers, where they act a little bit more like a golf disc than a frisbee, where putters are kind of similar to like an ultimate frisbee type flight. They act a little bit more like a golf disc, but they're also still very straight and easy to throw. So, Rickey Wysocki Compass. This one's a little bit more overstable, but I also want to recommend it because it's a great learning tool. Because again, no matter what angle you release it on, it should hold that. So you can get to learn the different release angles, whether it's Anheuser, Heiser, nice and flat. You can learn the different release angles with this disc. Is a great option. Latitude 64 Rickey Wysocki Signature Compass. Great disc. Probably my favorite or go-to Innova option, even though there's many great straight-flying Innova mid-ranges out there, is the G-Star Wombat. It's a great disc. They come in nice bright colors. If you look at the flight numbers on this, you can see it's got a speed 5, very manageable, nice speed range. The 6 for glide is nice, very nice number for glide, lots of glide there. -1 for turn, which means when it gets up to speed, it'll ride right a little bit. And then the 0 for fade means it's just dead straight. This is one of the straightest flying discs on the market, and I've had a number of beginners, low power throwers try this disc, and it works really well for them. Highly recommend the G-Star Wombat. It's a great option. This one, unfortunately, doesn't have the stock stamp. This is a full color stamp, but it's a Discraft Buzz. One of the top mid-ranges in the world. Really can't go wrong with the Buzz. Similar to the Compass, where it'll teach you all the different release angles. You can throw it and get it to hold different release angles. Very straight flying disc. They'll just have that little bit of finish when it slows down. And the Axis by MVP, very similar to the Buzz, maybe just a little bit straighter, holds the line a little bit longer overall, but also very similar. Great option. So that's my little beginner tip video for you guys today. Hopefully that wasn't too confusing. If you guys have any questions about disc or anything disc golf related, as always, you guys know where to find me. Leave me a comment. Hit me up on Facebook. I will try to help you guys out. Thanks very much for watching, and have fun out there. Cheers.